Tennessee versus Georgia. Boy, oh boy. Sure, Jalen Wright had that, 75-yard run or whatever to open up the game. Was not worried, this guy. I was not worried at all. We were both on Georgia. We both took a minus 10.5. That line dropped to 9.5, 9 on Saturday morning. You better believe that I took that. And yeah, it was cash. This Georgia team dominated. Carson Beck once again looks like one of the best quarterbacks in the country. Joe Milton does not look like that. Does not. So this is domination. This is Georgia once again looking like they're getting ready to hurt some people this postseason.
Yeah. I do think Alabama has a chance to win that game. I know this is not about Alabama, but like Georgia looks good. And like Tennessee, yes, you lost by 28 points at home. That sucks. Like that's quote unquote embarrassing. Obviously, you're not happy with that, but like this Georgia team is a wagon right now. Carson Beck is playing as good as anybody in the country not named Jaden Daniels. He is tremendous. He makes big time throws down the football field. They have elite wide receivers. Brock Bowers got his a little bit. Today was Dylan Bell. Like I believe Dylan Bell will even throw a touchdown. Like this is just a really good football team. Kendall Milton's starting to get better. Dejan Edwards didn't run the ball quite as effectively as you wanted him to, but he still did enough. Yeah, this team is just up and down loaded. They're getting healthy. Their O-line looks great. But like at the same time, like Tennessee was a little bit overvalued, right? Based on their losses, right? Based on what happened in all of them. But yeah, this is a good Georgia football team. Tennessee, you got Vanderbilt next week, and you better win that football game. The problem is you're gonna be 500 in conference play again, and that's kind of been a familiar thing for Tennessee the past decade, and that's kind of frustrating after the year you had last year. Obviously the Florida game you'd like to have back, but the O-line was not there, and that obviously caused a lot of problems for you. But yeah, kind of is Nico the guy next year? Is that really what it is? But like the Joe Milton experiment it's obviously not worked as much as you would have liked it to.
Yeah, he's not good.
Well, I mean, he's not good against Georgia. He's not going to beat Georgia.
Like there were not a lot of games this year where he was an X factor. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
I mean, he was an X factor for one half against Alabama. He was not good against Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
He was, I guess, okay against. No, he wasn't even. I'll say in the first half against Virginia, was not that good. Virginia, he struggled until the second half. There were not a ton of games this year where he played really magnificent football. So,
Fair.
Whereas Carson Beck is awesome. I think he's playing himself in the quarterback 3 spot right now for the NFL draft.
Oh,
yes, me.
He's making himself a lot of money. I think George is going to have to find a new quarterback next year.
Let me ask you this. What quarterback in the last, I'll say 12 years, what quarterback in the last 12 years for Georgia is better than Carson Beck?
Okay, Aaron Murray. Aaron Murray's a dog.
He was a dog, but
unintended.
Did we know that are we sure he's better? I know he's got like a record, like the career records, but if you gave Carson Beck
he did that for
4 years.
4 years. Oh yeah, obviously. And Carson Beck was playing behind Stetson Bennett, but he also has the benefit of like not taking anything away from Carson Beck here. Like, yeah, I would say like the point here is like there's a legit
is this Georgia team
for
that much better than that Georgia team that was a batted ball away from going to the national championship?
No, these teams are comparable, and like that's the crazy thing about Mark Richt is like he was that away from having a national championship. Regardless, though, like Carson Beck is a stud. He is a stud for all the question marks. We talked about it, like Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, like those 3 teams were having to replace quarterbacks. And Carson Beck, yes, he's the elderman of that group, but there are a couple other 3rd-year guys, right? Jalen Monroe, who's playing better, by the way, and Kyle McCord, who's playing a little bit better as well. Carson Beck is playing elite. He is a legit strength for Georgia. But come on, Aaron Murray is an SEC legend.
I know he is, but I'm saying like in this season, like I could
Yeah.
see the argument being made. Like the
Well,
career, the accolades, the Hall of Fame career, the Georgia Hall of Fame career that Aaron Murray had, obviously, it's very memorable. I'm just saying the talent of Carson Beck.
oh yeah. I mean,
I think he's more
Carson Beck's a
talented
first
than
round
Aaron
pick,
Murray.
in my opinion. Like he will be a first round pick, or he should
Maybe.
be.
I think he should be too. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm not interviewing him. I'm not a professional NFL scout, but I think he's a dog. So
For all the rumors out of Georgia that were like, we feel really good about Carson Beck, even though like the spring game wasn't pretty, whatever. Like the rumblings out of Georgia the offseason was Carson Beck, they believe in 100%, and that has turned out to be a hit.
yeah, I got some flack for taking Carson Beck in our quarterback fantasy draft over KJ Jefferson, and
You took him
I
over
don't
Jaden
know.
Daniels, though.
Well, I did, but
In
that was
hindsight, we both messed up on that.
in behind. Yeah, I guess. To be fair though, like they were both kind of in quote unquote quarterback battles where Garrett Nussmeier was kind of breathing down Jaden Daniels' neck, especially last year. Like LSU fans in the offseason were like, are we gonna say Garrett Nussmeier? Oh, we can't hit our ceiling with Jaden Daniels. Let's see Garrett Nussmeier. You know. So I stayed away from that aspect. But I just felt really good about
Special teams
Carson
coach.
Beck. Comes to
What,
fruition. Feels good to be right.
what happens with Georgia? Like, by the way, I heard this that they 8-0, 3 straight years for Georgia in the SEC.
They're about to go 12-0 for the third straight year in the regular season.
Well, Brent Key might say something about that.
Okay, all right. Let's move on.
The Yellow Jackets, they're my guys. I can't let that slander happen.